first thing that we're going to do is prepare our box base. In the first one, I started out with some soft saffron for the box base, and then I used crushed curry for the picket fence. On this one, we're going to go with Pear Pizzazz and Whisper White just to give you a variation and let you see a couple of different options. So I've got my card base in here. It is 5.5 by 7. We're going to score at 1.5 inches on all 4 sides. Then go ahead and fold and burnish all of your score lines. Do our cutting next. Very simple box to make. I'm going to hold it so that I've got it long ways up and down, 5.5 inch going across the bottom. I'm going to cut straight up this score line, stopping at the first horizontal score line. Do the same thing over here. I'm going to move that center section out of the way and then cut a couple of wedges out of both of these tabs. Then I'll turn my paper around to this side and do the same thing. So when you've completed that, this is what you'll have. I'm going to use my Tombow liquid glue to assemble my box. Then I have an additional piece that I've cut to go inside the bottom, and we'll just put some adhesive on this. The purpose for this is just to give it a little more stability. Okay, so there we have our box. Now I'm going to grab all of my little pieces that I've cut for the picket fence. And the best way that I can tell you to put these on your box is just to dry fit them first. And on the 4-inch side, you'll have 4. So what I like to do, is just lay them out on my box. And the 2 outside pieces, I don't want going all the way to the outside. I want them scooted away from the corners about 1/8 of an inch. Then I'm going to take my glue, put some on the back of each one, and then just adhere each piece in place, starting with the 2 outside pieces first. And then I'll add the 2 inside pieces, and I just make sure that everything is spaced evenly in between. That's one reason I'm using the liquid glue, is because if I have to move anything, it gives me a few seconds to get it all lined up and put in place where I want it, and then I can adjust if I need to. So that is one of the 4-inch sides. We're going to flip this over, and on the short side, which is 2.5, you'll use 3 pickets. So you're going to do this the same. You're going to dry fit it, but on the 2.5-inch sides, your pickets are going to actually line up with the very corner and then center the one in the middle. Now I'm going to sit my box to the side, give that glue some time to dry, and in the meantime I'm going to grab my piece of Whisper White. I'm going to be using my Pear Pizzazz, my Sweet Sugar Plum, and my Wisteria Wonder inks. What I'm going to do is take my leaf, which fell off my stamp block, and I'm going to stamp about 6 of these. Next I'm going to use, let me show you with the stamp set, this image here, which I usually call those the outline image. They probably have a specific name, I just don't know what it is. So I'm going to dip that into my Wisteria Wonder. I'm going to stamp 2 of these. Then I'm going to take the solid rose and stamp 3 of those in my powder pink. Now I have my coordinating dies on top of my stamped images. I'm just going to run all of these through my Big Shot, get those cut out, and then when I'm done, we'll move on to the next step. I have all of my embellishments cut out and laying right over here to the side, being ready to use. What I'm going to do next is put the railing around my fence. To do that with, I'm just going to go ahead and use my fast fuse for this. I feel like it will make it a little bit easier, so I'm just going to apply my fuse on this whole strip of paper, and this is one of the longer pieces. Then what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to run my fingers down the sides to make sure that all of that adhesive that was sticking out over the edges gets folded back to the inside where it belongs. Now, I know that my flower images are going to go right here, so I'm going to start just about right there, even with the edge of that second fence right there. Stick it down, and then when I get to the side, I'm going to lay it over so that I have a nice stiff surface to work on, and then I'm going to gently fold that around on the corner. Stick it down here, lay it down on the other side, gently fold again. Then on the second long side, and then around here. Now that leaves me just a little space from here to here. So I have an additional short piece that's cut to about 2.5 inches. I'll put my adhesive on that, and what I'll do is just line this cut end up even with where that one left off. Stick that down, lay it down again, and gently fold over. Then these will overlap here, but that's okay because all of that's going to get covered up. So I'm going to take my second long strip, apply my adhesive, attach that, and then attach the short strip just like I did on the top, but this one will go along the bottom. All right, all of that is in place. Let's go ahead and put our flowers on now. Some of these will be attached with glue dots, some will be attached with dimensionals. The first thing that I want to do is go ahead and put some of my leaves in behind my little flower images. So I'm just going to put a glue dot on there and then attach it to the back of the flower. Going to start out with one of my powder pink. I'm going to stick this one right down here in this corner. Then I'm going to take a second one. I'm going to put this one right up here. Next, I'll grab one of my Wisteria Wonder flowers, and I'll put this one right here. Then the next one, I'll do another of the Wisteria Wonder. I'm going to pop it up on a dimensional. And this one I'm going to put right down here. Then the last one, I think I'll go ahead and put it up on a dimensional as well. And I'm going to place this one, let's see which way I want that leaf to go. I'm going to do that just like that. Now I have one additional leaf left over, so I think what I'll do is stick this one right in here. Okay, so there we have our little bunny box done in Pear Pizzazz and Whisper White. So here are the two options that I've created for you. The first one, which is done in yellows, and the reason I chose to do it in yellows is because the chocolate bunny that I had in this box was wrapped in gold foil, and I thought it would look really good together, but it would look fine in this one too. So there's a couple of different options for you. Now let's go ahead and move on to the masculine box. You're really gonna like that one too.